Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So this is a 8-bit retro style portable video game system. This is basically a $12 unit. I'm going to put up a picture here from the eBay auction that I picked it up. There's a lot of similar ones, similar to this with a lot of games built in. This particular unit is one of the cheapest I was able to find. They do make ones that are called PXP3. This one in particular is the PVP. Seems to me that it's the cheapest by far out of all of them. Although if you look at the actual specs, they're all about the same. You could see they claim that it has 8,888 games in one. So that means it's built in, no cartridges necessary. Although there is a cartridge slot on top right here. From my understanding, it takes a proprietary type cartridge. My Game Boy Color cartridge does not fit in here. But what do you get with this kit? You actually get a whole bunch. This has a built-in rechargeable battery. Let me show you guys the battery right here. So as a full built-in battery, you have the actual USB charging cable. It works. It has a couple of hours per charge. When I got it delivered, it had about a 3-hour charge on it. I charged it. It has an LED that will illuminate right here green and red when it's charging and when it's ready. So it has a good amount of features just from that. You also have this video and audio out which you can connect to your regular television, and you can use this as basically a gamepad, and you'll have video and audio on your television. I used it. The resolution is pretty good and it's really playable. It's a useful feature actually. You also have this nice little carrying pouch, and you have an instruction manual which basically just kind of tells you some of the layout functions. It tells you the buttons, tells you the on-off power switch, stuff like that. It's in English, so that's actually a surprise. Normally a lot of this stuff is almost always in Chinese or it's unreadable. Here it's fairly readable and there's almost no typos. Alright guys, so I'm going to demonstrate playing a game for you. We're going to turn it on. The power switch is right here. Slider, it powers on. Here we go. I'm trying to keep the glare out. So Super Mario Brothers and Felix the Cat. See where the volume is. So here's the volume. You have an actual volume adjustable switch right there. You have, see, as I said, 8,888 games in one. Now what I will tell you is a lot of them are basically repeat games. So let's go to, let's see, Mario. Let's go to the first Mario. We're gonna select it. Gotta press this start button. Here it goes, it loads. So it looks to be like a normal game screen from what I remember on a regular Nintendo. Just press start, you got one player. And here's the home worlds themselves. Looks very similar to what the real game is. We're gonna start and we're gonna try to get a little game going. So the first thing I can tell already is the music. The music is different. It's at a different tempo or pace. The screen resolution is fairly good. I could see really well. It's way better than obviously any Game Boy Color type game. So, because it is backlit, the screen quality is pretty good. The game mechanics are pretty good. It's fairly controllable. I'm not having a hard time controlling the Mario character. The jumping is pretty good. The action buttons work pretty well. The control pad here, which is kind of, as you could tell, all separate buttons. Not as good as an actual directional pad, or as people call them, a D-pad. I don't particularly like that term D-pad for, you know, obvious reasons, but it is what it is. A lot of the power-ups are identical to Mario itself. Let's see. So game is playable. Let's see what else happens. Basically the same mechanics as I remember. You could spin the tail to do whatever. The way the levels end are similar also. And let's just see what happens now. So I got a card. That's a power-up you could use later on. So now Mario will move on to the second world. So I'm going to play a little bit of this, and then I'll show you actually my biggest gripe with this system. So clearly the music is completely different, but the level design is similar. So nothing to complain about there. For 12 bucks, you know, a little bit of a wrong tone is not a big deal. the only way to play these games today, obviously if you have an emulator, or an old Nintendo Entertainment System, which I don't, but I am trying to pick up at this moment. Of course, finding one in good condition is going to be somewhat of a problem. Okay, so there we go. Let me just try to show you guys what I mean by the worst thing about this so far. So I died, let's see where it loads. Okay, so there's no way to save my progress. So I've now completed World 1, I'm at 2. I've actually played 3 and 4 before, and they're exactly the same as the original system is, but there's no way to save. So I'm going to press start, right here, nothing. I'm going to press select, nothing. There's no save function. So when you turn this off, basically resets everything. That's actually my biggest gripe and issue with this. I don't know why they could have not just built in a memory card. Clearly they've repeated a whole bunch of games. You know, I guarantee there's not more than actually 50 unique games on here. Usually that's how these systems are. But they didn't want to do that. So when I turn it off and I go back, it's going to start at the same spot. So I'll show you guys. I'll go to Mario again, just as a little bit of proof. Press start. It's going to load at exactly... Again, I have to do World 1. I mean, this is unimaginable. You know, even old Nintendo Entertainment System cartridges had built-in memory. This does not. I don't know how they could do that. But let's turn it off and check out some other games. So I'm not going to look at any of these other Marios. I played Super Mario. It's the same thing. Let's play Contra. I remember playing this when I was a little bit younger. So the screen graphics team seem to be pretty good. Alright. Alright, so here we go. We have our character. He shoots. The shooting action is pretty good. The jumping is pretty what I remember. You can kneel, shoot angles. So you could see I can shoot on a directional type thing. Not gonna do that really, but once again, so he fell in water. So the game controls here are pretty good. The graphics are pretty good. The screen isn't pixelated at all. What else is there? So I'm gonna keep on playing. But either way, even I'm gonna press all these buttons. Basically, you can only continue at this point. So there is no save, there is no function to continue or pick up where you were left off from. Let's see what we got else. What else we got? Just I'll show you guys. So I'm gonna go back to the 8000. So if you press up directional pad, it'll go back down. A lot of these games are just repeats. So I'm not gonna go over many of them. I don't even know what many of them are, but they're just repeats. I played some of them. They're almost unplayable. Let's see. Go Galaga. What's Galaga? So one player. Okay. Well, it looks like kind of an old Atari style game. Never a fan of those, but that's okay. All right. So you got your basic shooter type thing. Gameplay is pretty good. The screen quality is really good. So the music is not bad. Resolution is good. There's no weird screen defects from what I can tell. For 12 bucks, this is, you know, if you just want to experience some of these games. Now, of course, they're a little bit different than the originals. But it's cheaper than getting an actual cartridge today for your Nintendo Entertainment System. But there it is, guys. Thanks so much for checking out my video. Please comment, like, and subscribe. If you have any questions about this item right here, please do let me know. I'll try my best to get back to you within a day or two.